So this is the single topic that we have been researching on. The hottest topic in independent India. We still do not have a conclusion, a definitive conclusion to this as to what happened to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, our war hero, foremost freedom fighter. So as of today, there are three possibilities. One, that he died in a plane crash in 1945 in Taiwan. This is the most popular one. Perhaps you have learned in school, in a small paragraph in your history textbook, that he is believed to have died in a plane crash. This is the government of India's official version as well. The second is a theory that he was killed in Russia. The third one is that he returned to India, lived a life spanning 3 to 4 decades, lived as a mostly unseen holy man in remote places in Uttar Pradesh, died in his sleep in 1985 September. So now we researched deep into all of these things, and we had to break the first one first. Basically because this is the most definitive theory that is circulating. Even the official version is that. But there are certain holes. One is that there has not been any photograph of the crash site where Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's Sally bomber met with that ill-fated crash. So it is supposed to have happened in Taihoku in Songshan Military Airport in 1945 on August 18. There are several photographs that are purported to be of this crash, this one included, but all of these events happened in the same aircraft or elsewhere the year before. So there is no definitive photograph of the crash site. So that's a major hole. The second, the story goes like, on 18th of August 1945, from Taihoku, Netaji and 4 others boarded a Sally bomber and they were en route to Tokyo. And the 4 others with him was one, Lieutenant General Sanemasa Shidei, who was leading the Quantum Army of Japan. Second, a pilot. Third, a co-pilot. And fourth was Bose's ADC by the name Habibur Rahman. So this gentleman in the image is Colonel Habibur Rahman, and he was Bose's assistant. He is the lone survivor. So he gave varying statements to varying inquiry committees, none matching, none consistent. The place where the flight actually crashed, whether it was on the runway, outside the runway, did it crash immediately after takeoff or after attaining some height, where Netaji was found alighting from the crashed aircraft. None of these things were consistent in Habibur Rahman's statements. So there is no definitive, reliable witness statement. Next one, there is no death certificate associated with his death. You have to understand here that Netaji was the recognized head of state of a government of India in exile, the Azad Hind government, which was accorded the same privileges and protocols which were given to Tojo in Japan. So he was a recognized head of state. But for his death, there was no death certificate. But then exists one death certificate, which you can see in the image. It is in Japanese. You can see 2 dates there. The first date at the top is that it is 18 August 1945. That is the date of the crash. That is when he died. And the translation of this Japanese text is that he met with this third degree burns and he succumbed to it. But you can see an interesting date towards the bottom as well. That is 13th of August 1988. So this death certificate was prepared a good 43 years after Bose's death, which basically says that there was no death certificate associated with his death in the first place. So why was this prepared? At whose behest? We don't know. So this is a fraud. No cremation record. The story goes like, he died in that plane crash. Then he was cremated there in Taihoku. The ashes were then flown to Tokyo, and it is now kept at a temple in Japan called the Renkoji temple. The next one, the crash happened in Taiwan. And therefore, Government of India has been saying from the beginning that it is up to them to inquire what happened to Netaji. And since we do not maintain any sort of relationship with them, we can't go there and inquire. But thanks to the declassification campaign that we ran, we are now able to find that the Taiwan government had themselves conducted an inquiry and had furnished several copies of that report to the first Indian government, which never saw the light of the day. Next, Taiwan officially rejected the plane crash story. We had a major role to play in that. I'll come to that in a moment. But officially, Taiwan says there never was a crash on 18 August 1945. Now, what you see here are the so-called ashes of Subhash Chandra Bose. These are kept in Renkoji Temple in Japan. These are not necessarily ashes in the strict sense of that word. These are basically charred bones. These are kept in this container, and till date, no DNA test has been performed on this. So we have been keeping this in Japan since 1945, and there has been numerous calls for a DNA test on these ashes, these remains, and even very prominent DNA experts like Terry Melton have given an opinion that it is possible to do a DNA test on these bones. At least we can confirm the ethnicity of the person died. So we will be sure whether it was a person of Indian origin or Japanese. But till date, we have not done this. Now, what did the government of India do? We had 3 official inquiry committees. The first one, gentleman on the extreme left, is General Shahnawaz Khan, Bollywood actor Shah Rukh Khan's relative. He was Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's colleague in INA. He was heading a function. Later, he was seen as a minister in Nehru's cabinet. And this gentleman had an inquiry committee set up in 1956, and it had 3 members, S.N. Maitra, an ICS officer, and Suresh Chandra Bose, Subhash Chandra Bose's elder brother. The one gentleman in the middle is Justice G.D. Khosla, famously known as the person who adjudicated the appeal in the Mahatma Gandhi assassination case. The last one, another retired Supreme Court judge, Justice Manoj Kumar Mukherjee from West Bengal, and his inquiry term was the longest, 1999 through 2005. Now, what did they find? Interestingly, both Shahnawaz Khan and Justice G.D. Khosla found that Bose died in that plane crash. This finding was in the absence of any photos, the body, any credible accounts, any records, be it of the crash, be it of the cremation, be it of the death. Absolutely nothing on record, but still both of them found that Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose had died in that plane crash. Now, interestingly, Subhash Chandra Bose's brother was a member of the first committee. He wrote a dissension report. He spoke to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, said that he does not agree to the ways and means of the commission because the commission was never allowed to visit the crash site. He had to sit in Delhi and prepare the report. He did not see any files. And yet, he concluded that he died in the plane crash. Suresh Chandra Bose did not agree to it. He published a dissension report. Justice Manoj Kumar Mukherjee, 1999 to 2005, he basically debunked the crash theory. And a lot of credit has to be owed to the person who can be seen in the background. That is my good friend Anuj Dar, the same guy you saw in the blue jacket in the first slide. So what Anuj did was he wrote to the mayor of the province in Taiwan. He said, sir, we don't have any diplomatic relationship with you, but it is believed that one of our foremost war heroes died in an ill-fated plane crash in your place. Would you be kind enough to order a search of the records and confirm back to me whether the plane crash actually occurred? No diplomatic relations, just a normal, ordinary Indian citizen asking, but still the mayor ordered for a search. And he came back with an answer, a definitive answer, that there was no plane crash on the 18th of August or within 2 months before or after this incident. And it was with that single paper document that Anuj Dar went to Justice Manoj Kumar Mukherjee, deposed before him, and said that, sir, an ordinary citizen got this, why can't you go and search? So it was based on that evidence. Justice Mukherjee bargained with the government, secured permission to visit the site, and finally he went there, he checked all the records and wrote in his report this thing. The story of the air crash, Netaji's death therein, and his cremation were engineered by the Japanese army authorities. The government of India rejected the report of the Mukherjee Commission without assigning any reason whatsoever. Now, for want of time, I'm not going much into the details of the Russian story, but the truth is that there are several oral evidences for Netaji's presence in Russia after 1945, but none point to him being killed, assassinated there. That brings us to the most important question. Did he come back to India, lived as an ascetic for several decades? In 1985, in Faizabad, a remote village in Uttar Pradesh, now known as Ayodhya. So at this place, a sannyasi, a mostly unseen holy man, died. And news spread through basically the local newspapers that he was Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in hiding. So he had some peculiar nature and character. He wouldn't reveal his face even to his very close followers. All he would do is sit in a room, put a curtain on, and he will talk to his disciples. He had some very close disciples who were, well accomplished in their own ways. Now this gentleman one day died, and the news spread like wildfire, and it reached Bengal, Calcutta, and Lalita Bose, who happened to be Subhash Chandra Bose's niece, she flew down to Faizabad. By that time the cremation was over, so all she could do was inspect the belongings of the Baba. And she had a quick look at the belongings. You can see here on the left hand side, towards the right side, you can see very rare photographs of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's family. These were in the possession of this mostly unseen holy man in a remote village in Faizabad. Towards the left of that, you can see the round golden spectacles of varying powers. At the top, it's mostly history literature. And right in the middle on the top, you can see that dissension report published by Subhash Chandra Bose's brother. Very interestingly, a summons, the original of the summons sent by one of the inquiry committees to Suresh Chandra Bose, was also found in the trunk of the sannyasi. So we actually met with Akhilesh Yadav, who was chief minister then, and we requested him to constitute a museum. And he did that, and this is all on display there. It was well inaugurated during the time of Yogi Adityanath, but after the inauguration, it is shut down. It is never opened. Now this is yours truly at the house, Ram Bhavan, where he breathed his last, and that is his place of cremation, his tomb. Now what the government of India did, we conducted handwriting analysis. So the Sarkari lab was entrusted with the confirmed writings of Subhash Chandra Bose taken from his home in Kolkata, and then he was also supplied with the materials which were written materials by Gumnami Baba. The sannyasi was called Gumnami Baba after his death. Gumnami means a person with no name. So then the Sarkari lab actually took 24 instances of the handwriting and compared and furnished a report saying that there is no match. So these were two entirely different people. Interestingly, Justice Mukherjee Commission also gave a copy of all these reports, all these handwriting samples, to an individual by the name Dr. B. Lal Kapoor. He was a foremost handwriting expert in India, but by that time he had retired from service. So he was consulted as an external consultant. Although if the Sarkari lab compared 24 instances, this gentleman compared 450 plus instances. And he gave a report saying that this person who authored the question documents of Gumnami Baba is the same person who authored Subhash Chandra Bose's writings. So he says the documents show common authorship and the person who wrote these were one and the same. These are some handwriting samples. On the left, the top one is written by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and the bottom one is written by Gumnami Baba. Now what happened then? We approached this gentleman. He's Kurt Baggett. You can see his credentials there. 4 decades plus of experience, testified in 5,000 high profile cases, and he has had military training and everything. And finally, he is known as a topmost handwriting expert in the Western world. We approached him. He doesn't know who Subhash Chandra Bose is, who Gumnami Baba is. He doesn't know anything. Finally, he inspected all this and gave us a report. You can see that, the topmost paragraph. It says they show common authorship. And he is ready to testify that. It is attested by the notary in the state of Texas as well. He used FBI methods, the standards methods that are used in the Western world, to prove that they show common authorship. Now there were 7 teeth in the house Ram Bhavan where he breathed his last. So his disciples said these belong to the Baba. So they were taken again to the Sarkari lab to do a DNA profiling. They did that and they said that it was inconclusive. So Sarkari lab said, we can't ascertain the identity of this person because the maternal blood samples of Subhash Chandra Bose's family members was taken for this test. Interestingly, there is one thing called electropherogram. When you do a DNA test, it is based on the electropherogram that you make your inferences. Surprisingly, in Bose's case or in Gumnami Baba's case, the electropherogram is missing. It is missing to this day. We have filed RTIs after RTIs after RTIs, but the government says it's missing. By the way, missing is a criminal offense, but no case has been charged. the Allahabad High Court actually took us very seriously. I spoke about one Lalita Bose. She flew down from Kolkata to Faizabad to see the belongings of the Baba, and she actually staked a claim. She said that these belongings were of my uncle Subhash Chandra Bose, and I am the legal heir to that. And she filed a case in 1985. We know how long and protracted our legal system can be. So she died during the pendency of the case, and the case was adjudicated finally in 2013 after a good 28 years. And in that, my good friend Anuj Dhar gets a mention. The court says that his research seems to be genuine and based on relevant material, that too when the finding recorded by the learned author has not been controverted by the government of India or the government of West Bengal. It stands the same today. The court ruled that prima facie, these two persons are the same. So what is it that we want? Put everything in before the public. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Satyameva Jayate is the motto of our nation. So why we keep something secret? So do a DNA analysis, and also to avoid the possibility of swapping of samples, do a dating test as well on the ashes which are kept in Renkochi temple. Second, do a fresh handwriting analysis if you want, but not in Sarkari labs. The third one, intelligence files. Through our efforts, we have declassified a lot of documents running into several thousands of pages. But then the intelligence files, there is no provision in the government right now to declassify intelligence files. So we have been trying for the last 2 decades to find a way to change our Official Secrets Policy Act and finally bring the intelligence files out. We have been promised, but it has not been fulfilled yet. So that brings me to the end of the theories. The plane crash death, there are oral evidences, documentary evidences none, scientific evidences none. The Russian death, oral evidences are there, but no scientific evidence, no documentary evidence. The third one, we have oral evidences, we have documentary evidences, and we have scientific evidences to prove the third story. So the question again is, did he die in the plane crash? If you ask me, I would say no. Was he assassinated in Russia? No. So then, who was the mostly unseen holy man who was called Gumnami Baba, who was called Bhagwanji, after his death, who was called Gumnami Baba of Faizabad? The answer is वो नहीं थे. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.